So, this is the Extraordinary Rain Man because my opinion is just that interesting. In the world of comic books, there are some comic books that are accepted as being generally excellent. Books like Alan Moore's Watchmen. And then there are books that are just complete and utter rubbish, like Mark Millar's recent travesty, Nemesis. But every now and then, a comic comes along that is just sort of okay. It's not bad, it's not good, it's just acceptable. One of those books is Batman Year 100 by Paul Pope. I would like to try and give a synopsis, a general overview of the plot, but it's really hard to do. Basically, it's 2039. It's 100 years after the beginning of Batman. Gotham has pretty much become a police state, and there's psychics and unwarranted arrests, and everything's been tapped into. The one anomaly is, of course, the Batman. Batman! Batman! That's pretty much the only thing I can give so far as the plot goes, because that is the main problem with this. Let's jump right into it. The main problem is that nothing in the story connects. The story is all over the place. One minute we'll be with Batman and his gang. The next minute we'll be with Commissioner Gordon and his guys. The next minute we'll be with the bad guys. And the problem with this is it literally will cut off mid-sentence. Literally! The characters will be mid-sentence and it'll jump to the next scene. This equals to becoming incredibly lost in everything that they're doing. Comic books use juxtaposition sequences in order to tell their stories, one thing leading to another, and if your brain cannot perceive what is happening from one panel to the other, the storytelling is completely lost. Let's use an example, Mark Millar's less of a travesty against comics, Superior, as an example. In this panel right here, if you can see, the character of Superior is telling the robot guy, "Heads up!" In the next panel down here, we see him flying towards him with a train, intent on attacking the giant robot. And then in the last panel, in the huge double space spread, we see Superior actually striking the robot with the train. Now I understand comics don't lend themselves to a lot of space. You have so many pages, it's like under 30, in which you tell a story. Unlike in movies or pretty much any other storytelling form that uses motion to tell a story, comic books are limited not in time, but in basically motion. If a character moves from here to here, that takes up pages, I understand that, but that is still no excuse for the amount of confusing stuff that happens in this comic. Not only that, but sometimes just looking at the panels themselves can be ridiculously confusing. He has a lot of really odd gadgets, but they don't explain what the gadgets do or how he even uses them. There's a lot of weird visual things, like he has, I suppose it's some sort of cutter, but there's a lot of lights going around the screen when he uses it. I'm Batman. That actually makes a little more sense than what happens in the comic. Which I think is really sad because Paul Pope actually, in his notes, sets limits to what he wants Batman to have. Instead of Batman's utility belt being an end-all Deus Ex Machina machine which can produce anything he needs, oh, Robin, you know what would be really great in this situation? A unicorn! You know what would be really useful in this situation? Nunchucks! Oh no, the Penguin is breaking out of Arkham Asylum again. You know what I need? A magic lamp. Poof! Yeah, for years the whole Deus Ex Machina aspect of Batman's belt has really bothered me. Paul Pope attempts to fix that, but loses at actually making any sense when it comes to the gadgets that he has. Which is also sad because Paul Pope's art in this is just fantastic. It has this dark, gritty, kind of neo-punk look to it, but it's not dark like there's a lot of sex and violence and stuff like that. It reminds me a lot of Jeff Darrow's work without the really gross, disturbing elements of it. The problem with it is his art is not good at telling a story because of the way his panels flow. So, at the end of the day, Batman Year 100 is an interesting concept with some very interesting ideas and some fantastic art, but fails as a storytelling piece. Poof! What's that, Genie? Thanks, Genie! Genie reminded me that it's now time for The random question of the now! Batman Year 100 is completely average, forgettable, and nothing special, aside from its art. What do you think is completely forgettable and average and nothing special? Post your comment down there. Please. I like attention. This is the Extraordinary Rayman signing off. I will see you next time.